Yes, how we doing, people? We're back again. This is becoming a regular thing, and I'm enjoying it. Lee, how are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. I'll see Alcaraz has got through to the
Yes,
final. So Spain have got the Wimbledon to look forward to and the Euro. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Djokovic can join him now. I'll try and watch a little bit of that and a little bit
yeah. I
of
watched a bit of
cricket
it. He
later
went one
on.
nil down. Medvedev did actually go 1-0 up in the tiebreak and beat
Yeah,
it first one, and then he's come back and won it. But I lumped a bit of money on it because I thought Alcaraz was going to win, and I didn't know where to go, and I thought, oh, if Medvedev odds are pretty good and he's 1-0 up, why don't throw a few quid on him? And yeah, that's why Alcaraz won, I think, because I put money on Medvedev.
oh,
So there we go. But no,
yeah.
Alcaraz, I thought I think he's going to win the whole thing, if I'm honest. I think. But yeah, could Djokovic do something? Could he roll back the years, mate? You never would write it off, would you, with Djokovic? Because you know what he's about, mate. He's one of those, isn't he?
Not
Um,
against him though.
I don't think so. I think he's
You
a
know,
top talent, this Alcaraz, man. I
yeah.
really do. I think he's quality. So, yeah, I expect him to go and win Wimbledon now. Obviously, there's a lot of build up about the England Spain game. I think Sunday is going to be a fantastic day, in it? Wimbledon and England versus Spain. There is rumours today, though, Lee, that Southgate is going to stay whatever. The FA are going to
Mm.
offer him a new contract, whether it's win or lose, and he's going to stay. What do you make of this news, mate?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not that fussed either way, really. I think I'd like to see a different manager, if I'd be really honest. But over the last sort of two games, he sort of won me over a little bit. But for me, I'd like to see a change of the guard. But and hopefully he goes out on a winning note. That would be fantastic. That's how I see it. But I think I was listening on the radio today. The FA want him to continue because they don't really have any candidates to come in for it, So he could be in a very good bargaining position from this. But I think what he should do is hold on and wait for the Man United job. That's what I think he should do.
That's what I think he should do as well. I think it would be pretty poor, if I'm honest, if we keep hold of Southgate. I think he should walk whatever. If he doesn't win it, I think he should walk and say give someone else a go. If he does win it, I think he should leave on a high. But the FA is sticking by him, mate, and he's going to be here for another tournament. Listen, I don't hate Gareth Southgate, if I'm honest, the man. I think he's a great guy. I think, what he's done, how he handles the media well. I think his man management's good. I think there's a lot about him that you like. Just don't like him on the field, mate. Just think tactically he's not quite good enough. And I think that the squad that we've got, we should be beating Spain. Like, you look at the 11. Would you take the Spain 11? I wouldn't. Not over
No,
England. So
no.
really, England should be winning. But the reason Spain are favourites is because they're playing better as a team.
Mm.
They've got individual quality, don't get me wrong, but you can't say that every single player in that Spain team, you'd look at the England to line up and go, yeah, I don't think there's many England players getting in here. Would you take Morata over Kane? No. You
No.
wouldn't take, you take Saka and Foden. I know Williams and Yamal have lit the tournament up, but you can't tell me that Saka and they're better than Saka and Foden, who have been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years, and treble winning Foden and Saka, who's done it at tournaments. You can't tell me that their back line is phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? So I think when you look at the 1 to 11, England have got the better lineup. Other than Rodri, I think who's the standout, maybe a couple of others. I think we've got the better 11. So really, we should be going through. But I do feel like it'll be a struggle because I just don't rate the manager, mate. I just don't think the manager has got it. So Sunday, it's all on him and the team, and we'll have to try and get across the line. But he will be the manager, it looks like, anyway. So long as he wants to accept it, Lee. And that was my question to you. Do you think he wants to stay? He's got to say, yes, I want to stay before he does. I mean, do you think he's happy?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, that's not a bad job, is it? Really,
No.
You get paid full-time manager's wage for a part-time job, really, and then like every 2 summers you go, you do a month and a half, and at the end of it, the month and a half that you're away or whatever, must be fantastic to be involved in and behind the scenes and everything like that. So it'd be very, very interesting to see if he wants it, but does he want to get back into club football? That's the key. He's done it before. listen, on the back of winning the Euros, someone will give him. There'll be plenty of offers there. Forget about what he's done because they'll be looking at it and going, oh, he's won the Euros, so there'd be plenty of offers for him. And if I was him now, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, he can sit down over the next month or so on his sunbed and think what he's going to do. And how long ago was it? 2 weeks ago, before that Jude Bellingham goal, you know what I mean? He had no chance of getting a job ever again. Lions, as we've always said, and there he is now, 2 weeks later, or a week. Is it a week later or two? I can't, but no, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks Saturday, that game, wasn't it? Incredible, really. Like, Saka doesn't do what he done, and we went out that day against Switzerland. I don't think anybody would be offering him a job, but wins it. I think the world's his oyster. It's unbelievable to say that, but it is. It's incredible, isn't it?
Even the Euros, he will be looked at 100%. If he doesn't, I don't think he'll get a managing job anywhere other than the Championship. Because that's what I think his level is. Now, Man United might be stupid enough to offer him a job. It doesn't mean he's going to last and do well there. Listen, Gareth Southgate's done well in certain aspects of getting England where he's got them, but you can't sit there and tell me that he's absolutely, elite management level and he deserves all the credit in the world and all this stuff. I just haven't been impressed with what I've seen. But if he goes and gets us across the line, no one can sit there and slag him off at all because he's done it, So go and do it, Gareth. That's what I say. Go and do it. So that's going to be a big game on Sunday. What are you going for, Lee? I was going to ask you what your thoughts were for this game before because we're not probably going to speak about it much before now.
No, we'll talk about it afterwards. I've got a question to ask you, which was come up in conversation today. But let's talk about that first. Do you think that Declan Rice, now looking at him, is Arsenal's Declan Rice, or is he still West Ham's Declan Rice because they produced him or whatever, So the question could be: is it Harry Kane, Bayern Munich now, or is he still Spurs? What do you see what I'm saying on this?
What, the way he's playing, or
no? Like, would you, as a person now, you say like, no, Declan Rice is Arsenal, and Arsenal.
Okay, right, yeah. So if you're the first club you think of when you think of the player, you mean?
Yes. So straight away now, you're going Harry Kane. We're talking about Harry Kane. I'm still thinking Tottenham vibes with him, even though he's Bayern Munich. Right, yeah. Now, Rice against, is he Arsenal now, or is he still West Ham?
No, I think I'll probably think of him as West Ham because he was there for longer. But I mean, as an Arsenal fan, it's different because obviously you look at him as Rice, you see him every week. But I think if you was to look at a neutral, they'd say he's the West Ham Rice, isn't he? He's the one who's just gone to Arsenal. They wouldn't go, oh, he's that Arsenal through and through lad who played for West Ham apparently for a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? Like that, be the other way around, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I get that because I'm sort of like, no, like Declan Rice is Arsenal, but Harry Kane is still Tottenham. But they've only been at their respective new clubs for that year. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah. It's a good one. I think that's why. First of all, when you asked it, I thought, well, Rice is Arsenal and Kane is Spurs. But then I thought I'm a gooner, so I'm going to say that. I think if a neutral was asked that question, if you were asking a Newcastle fan, they will go Kane, Tottenham, and Rice, West Ham. I'm sure they would. But maybe we're the wrong people to ask that question.
Yeah, it's like, do Everton fans still support like
John Stones
or Anthony Gordon? Do you know what I'm saying? They look at them as their boys. You know what I mean? Like, even though they've gone to Newcastle and Manchester City now, it's an interesting concept because the way the question come about is because, speaking to someone today and they've got no time for Harry Kane. They were just saying and it made a great point. He said, I can't stand Harry Kane. Like, look at him even with that penalty, like rolling around like his leg was broken. As soon as the penalty was given, he's jumped up, ready to take the penalty, and when he scored, running off, celebrating. It's just typical horrible Harry Kane. But I said, well, I don't see it as bad now because he's Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? I still don't like him. I've got to say this. Because of the Tottenham connection, I suppose. But the way these antics and all that, I understand it. Why people don't like him, you know what I mean, because of all that. But when he's playing for you, it did. See, how can I put that now? When he done that on against Holland, I never noticed that one iota. But if that was like he was playing for Tottenham, I would have. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and if I look
100%.
at him,
But it's different when you look at it that way. We're looking at it as England fans now, and then we're looking at it as all of those players are our players right now. There's a lot of tribalism in football, and I think that's why when people start to look at individual performances, the Man City players are Man City fans are looking at Bellingham and Saka, and the Arsenal fans are looking at Foden. And then the Real Madrid fans are looking at Arsenal and Man City, Foden and Saka. What's going on with these performances? We're all so tribal, aren't we, with it all? And like, really, we should be looking at it going, bloody hell, we've got a fantastic team here. My God, Foden has been superb. Bellingham looks like what? Gee, Kane, unbelievable. But because all the Arsenal fans are like, well, keep off, Saka and Rice have been brilliant. Everyone else is crap because they don't play for Arsenal. I think there's a lot of Arsenal fans like that. There's a lot of Man City fans that have been pointing the finger elsewhere away from Foden. There's a lot of Man United fans that are going, why is Kobbie Mainoo not playing every game? Look at the state of Rice and Saka. I don't know why we do that as England fans, but we do. There is a little bit of that that's built in us, I think. We've always been so passionate for our clubs that when it comes to a country, you know, if I said to you now, England are going to win on Sunday, 2-1, give me 2 goal scorers you want, you're going to tell me you want Rice and Saka to score, because that's what I'm going to tell you, right? But 100%. Really, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, really, should it? It shouldn't matter if it's bloody Stones, Trippier, Kane, Walker, or Kobbie Mainoo who scores. But for me and you, we want it to be Rice and Saka because we're Arsenal fans. So we'll always be club over country as a country, I think. And that's why it's difficult, Lee. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, because I'm with you on that. Like, you know what I mean? If you want, who do I want to score on Sunday? The perfect scenario is Saka and Rice, and then Pickford gets injured. Ramsdale comes on and he bangs in the winning penalty. That's a perfect time for me. That would be if Carlin done Euro finals, that would be it. That
would be it, mate. So, there you go, and that's what it is about for us as clubs and countries. Yeah. You and I have always said it's about the club, not the country. We've always said that, you and I. We have, and we've always been Arsenal instead of England. But when we get into a final, I want England winning. I don't actually care who wins. If I had my perfection, it would be that. Absolutely what you've just said, spot on. But really, if you said, look, none of them are going to score, Dan, but England are actually going to win, of course I'm going to say that, right? I want England to win it. England have never won anything in my lifetime, and I would love them to do it. I want them to win Euros, World Cup every single year. And at the moment, I think we have an unbelievable squad, and I think we should be winning it. And we said it yesterday on the stream, and I'll say it again. When England were coming up with their golden generation against Brazil and France and Spain teams, we were nowhere near favourites to win the competition. We've just said that we're in the final and we'd get more 1-11s in the England setup than the Spain out setup. That means we should be looking to get a victory here against Spain.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going for England. I think England will win it. I think they'll win it more comfortably than what people think. I think we'll win it. I think we'll be very, very pleased with England's performance tomorrow. Sunday. I think that we'll win it 2-0, and I think that it will be a very, very good performance. I felt that Spain, as good as they've been, they conceded chances against Germany, and I felt they were fortunate to beat Germany that day. It could have gone either way, and I think England are a better team than Germany. So I'm going to go for England to win it, and look, listen, nothing would give me more delight than one of the Arsenal boys getting one of the goals, and that will be fantastic. Like, you know, I'll be honest with you, Dan. When Saka scored, I went mental when he scored. Like, you know,
of course, mate, I did as well.
But when others score, I go, yes, get in there. When Ollie Watkins scored, I did go, yes, well, you know what I mean, yes, you know what I mean. But that's it, you know what I mean. But I didn't go running around the room, jumping up and down when he scored. But when Saka scored, I did. I just get that little bit more passion to it, you know. I also did think that we was going out, like, you know what I mean. So, to be honest, and as Lee says there, if I celebrate that, I haven't celebrated an Harry Kane goal, like, you know what I mean. I still don't. You know, I was just talking about. I don't really like him, but I'll give it a little fist pump. You know what I mean, if I'll be honest. But you know, it's. I find it very, very hard. I don't know how you feel about this. I find it very, very hard to celebrate Foden and Walker at the moment because for 9 months they've stopped me giving me what I wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like, and what I want is that Premier League. You know what I mean? Like now,
I broke up when you said about you struggle to celebrate. What did you say?
Like celebrate like Foden and Walker at this moment and Stones because for 8 or 9 months they've they've stopped me getting what I wanted then, you know what I mean? They've stopped me winning the Premier League, like, you know what I mean? So now I've got to go, oh, well done, Walker. I can't. There's a little bit of me with that, you know what I mean? I know I'm a real sad bastard at times, I know, like, but that's how I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I think I really, if you said to me, who's your favourite England player outside the Arsenal players, right? I'm going to tell you who mine is, Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, same.
Right? And I got a feeling that in my subconscious brain, that's because he's never affected Arsenal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't played for Man United, hasn't played for Spurs, he's played for Birmingham, like, you know what I mean? All right. And then he's gone over to Dortmund. Now he's at Real Madrid. He's not for 9. We might come across him in a Champions League game or whatever, like. But what I'm saying is, for 9 months of the year, I ain't hoping that he's losing and all that. And that's why I think that I quite like Jude Bellingham more than anybody else in that team. Like, I've got no problems with Watkins, you know what I mean? But like, I do think, like, when he celebrated, he did score at the Emirates. And I, begrudgingly don't like him now, like, you know what I mean? So, do you know what I'm saying? Am I wrong to say these sort of things?
No, you're not, man. You're not. And I think that's what I'm getting at is the clubs in England, they will all have that tribalism and it'll always be there. I personally will watch England and I'll celebrate if we win. But you're absolutely right to say that you would struggle to want some of these players that you've been week in, week out hating on, like Walker and Stones, when every week you don't want them to do well with the weekend, do you? You don't want Harry Kane to score for Tottenham. You don't want Phil Foden to go and get hat-trick. You know what I mean? I understand what you're saying totally, Lee. I totally do. I think when it comes for me, the England shirt, I do just put that to bed for that tournament. And then afterwards, they go back to being our rivals.
Yeah.
But some people can't do that, and I know you're one of them. I know I remember where it was basically, we were famous for not celebrating Kane's goal. No one could believe it. Some people texted me going, why don't your mate Lee celebrate England goals? And I was like, well, he's only the Kane ones he don't like, Oh, I don't get it. People, you really got you for that, They couldn't get it. I did not get it. When he scored and you stuck by it and you went, no, I ain't celebrating it. I don't like him. That's something you, isn't it? That's how you support your club,
It's a really funny thing because, like, England, right, Dan, have not, if you have a look at Arsenal's history, do you know, like, who scored the most goals for England? I don't think you'd even get it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, who scored
Arsenal player?
Yeah,
who scored the most for England. Would I even know him?
No, it's someone from back, way back, like way back. I try and find it. Way back.
Yeah.
Right.
Because for me, like that. But that proves that. Don't that just prove that we have had so many Arsenal players be overlooked over the years, though? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, exactly. It's Saka. Like someone said there, Saka's got about 6 goals. He's second highest Arsenal goal scorer. That means it scored for Arsenal while playing for England. Like, you know what I mean? I think like other players have got 3. I think Wright is up there. Well, we've never had that where we've had a goal scorer that scored a load of goals for England. Never. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, I've never really celebrated a lot of England goals because of that. Like, do you know what I mean is, like, Harry Kane, he's got 50 odd goals for England, over 50 goals, might even be more than that. So like he's scored more goals than probably every Arsenal goal scorer for England. You know what I mean? And like, so you got to be celebrating 60 times that bastard scores. No, thank you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I've got it up here in front of me. Actually, I've just googled it now. It's Cliff Baston is the winner. He's got 12 goals. Tony Woodcock's got 9 goals. Ian Wright's got 9 goals. Theo Walcott's got 8 goals. Danny Welbeck's got 8 goals. Ted Drake, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Saka got 6 goals.
Right. Well, some of them probably, like Tony Woodcock, for instance, probably didn't get all them scoring for Arsenal. Like, you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Like, they've got 10 goals.
No, it is with Arsenal. It says here 7 England players have scored the most goals while playing at Arsenal.
Oh, why
Cliff
playing at
Baston,
Arsenal?
yeah, Cliff Baston 12, Tony Woodcock 9, Ian Wright 9, Walcott 8, Welbeck 8, Ted Drake 6, Oxlade-Chamberlain 6, and Saka 6.
So,
But you're right, though. You have
is
to
it?
go back to Cliff Baston days to celebrate the top goal scorer. You know what I mean?
It's unreal, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
And
So,
those players there, I mean, maybe not Welbeck and Walcott and Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Ian Wright should have been playing more for England. I mean, I know he was, to be fair, behind Shearer, Sheringham, and Les Ferdinands and Letizier's, Fowler's, all this. I get it. I totally get it. But Wright, he was one of the best finishers you'll see. You know, and Andy Cole, another one, never played enough for England. You know, we had great sort of
Robbie Fowler.
back then. You know, yeah. Robbie Fowler.
Do you know who's one of the best forwards that I've ever seen and never quite done the business? Didn't hardly play for England, but I thought he had everything in that era.
Dean Ashton?
No, better than Dean Ashton. I think he was, you know, if his head was right, he would have been the best player in.
Oh, Stan Collymore.
Stan Collymore.
Yeah.
He had everything. Pace, power, right foot, left foot, header, but he just did no. He just didn't have that mental thing. Like, but what a player he was. He was unplayable at times. But
this lad as well deserves a mention, man. Big up Dan as well.
Yes, what's a player?
He was incredible, mate. Letizia was so good, man.
Chris Sutton's another one that didn't really, you know.
Yeah, he had that season with Blackburn, didn't he? Never went on to do much after that.
Record goals, transfer at one stage. He was. We was linked with him. Funny enough, he went to Blackburn further than money, but he did win the league. But they scored a lot of goals. Hardly played for England. When you think about it, him and Shearer put up a really good partnership.
Yeah, they did.
But they chose Teddy Sheringham, who's like Tottenham have got some. You know, I've had some players like representing England over the years. It's funny when you look at Tottenham that they are the club with the most players to have represented England, right?
He's mad.
Mad, isn't it? We've never won nothing, right? Up until 66. No Spurs players in the squad. Here we are in the final. Like, is there a coincidence in that? Like, do you know what I mean? Is there a coincidence in that? You know? Harry Kane's had to lead Tottenham to lead us to the final. But no, it's just a serious thing, like, you know.
No, that is true, man. That is true. Yeah, I got that in a quiz question once. Might have even been you, but it was how many. Who's got the most England players and which club, has had the most represent England? And it is Tottenham.
Yeah, it is Tottenham.
But don't you think over the years there's been not just strikers here. We're talking about like we're talking about the best back five in the 90s that Arsenal ever had. Hardly any of them represented England other than Seaman and Adams.
Yeah,
Winterburn. I feel Neville was getting ahead of Winterburn. I mean, what's happening here? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Pearce, to be fair, was Stuart Pearce. I get that, but like for me, if I'm going England, man, I'm thinking, Christ, that back five is all English. I'm putting that back five in, and then we go from there and move forward. Do you know what I mean? We never happened. You know, we had no Keogh, no Bold, no Winterburn, no Dixon. You know, I know we had Neville at the time. He was class, to be fair to Gary Neville, but they didn't play much. Rocky, how did Rocky Rocastle? I know they had Barnes and Peter Beardsley, but Rocky never really got enough caps, did he? Ray Parlour never really got enough caps.
Michael Thomas was another one, like, you know.
Yeah.
Steve Bruce has to be mentioned here.
Steve Bruce. How did he not get him there?
How did he never get a cap for England? Is incredible. You know,
that is incredible. You know, what's his name? Merson says, you know, how did I get ahead of Ray Parlour to go? I was playing at Middlesbrough in the Championship, and Ray Parlour, you know, I think it was a Championship at the time. Paul Merson was at Middlesbrough, and then you know, Ray Parlour gets ahead of him in the England '98 squad because
he got left out. Ray Parlour,
Ray Parlour got left out, and I'm thinking, you know, so and he was quality that year. So
I'll tell you, got left out for. You know what I mean? Darren Anderton.
Oh dear me!
And I'll tell you what, I see a thing on the other day. I think it was Gary Neville and Ian Wright were saying, like, you know, how good a player Gary Neville was. How Darren Anderton was a great player. Well, I remember that season Ray Parlour was outstanding for Arsenal. We won the double. He hardly played a game because he was injured and then got left out, like, you know. So Glenn Hoddle, I'll tell you a little story right about that. I'll tell you a little funny story.
Go on, let's do it.
When that happened, I was going there. I said, if I ever see that Glenn Hoddle, when I ever see him, I'll tell him, Darren Hennon over Ray Parlour, we just won the double for Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, bias this and bias that. Like, I was saying it in front of my ex-girlfriend, right? Anyway, we went down Lakeside or somewhere like that, walking along Lakeside, and it had book signing. Glenn Hoddle, like, you know what I mean? She's gone, well, go on, get in there and tell him, like, you know what I mean? Go on, get in there. Anyway, that's why she's an ex, you know what I mean? Like, cocky cow, you know what I mean? Like, she gave it to me else. She said, go on, get in there and tell me what you've been telling me like, the last 6 weeks about Glenn Hoddle. Like, I said, I'll let it go. I'll let it slide, you know what I mean? I'll let it slide.
No bottle, mate. No bottle.
Bottle.
Hey, Glenn, I don't want your autograph. I want you to tell me right now why you picked Darren Anderton over Ray Parlour.
Over Ray Parlour. I should have done it like that, you know what I mean? So, but I didn't, like, you know. So, I was fuming at that thing, like, and then Darren Anderton played in every game in that 98 team, and I thought, like, listen, Ray Parlour deserved to go on that.
He did. Yeah.
I think, yeah. And I'll be interested, like, you know, like, probably when you look at it, Nigel Winterburn up against Stuart Pearce, right? And I'll tell you who picked up more caps than Nigel was a player which you might not have even remember, a fella called Tony Dorigo. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him,
Yeah, played for Leeds. You know, I think he was Australian or something, like, now, at the end, Come on, Nigel was much better than him, like, do you know what I mean? So, like, there is that little bit of biasness towards it, I think, like.
Graham Taylor was the one, wasn't he? Graham Taylor, who he selected. Oh, my God. I mean, didn't he have Steve Stone and players like that coming in?
Steve Stone, Carlton
Palmer. Yeah, Carlton Palmer.
Carlton. Like, so, but listen, Carlton Palmer weren't a bad player, but, like, Jeff Thomas, do you remember him? Played for Crystal Palace. Jeff Thomas.
Yeah,
he played like now.
He's like one of Palace's greatest ever players, isn't he? I think
they're getting more games than Rocastle and Thomas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alan Smith, by the way, top goal scorer in both title-winning years of 89 and 91. I looked at, you know, hardly any caps for England.
Crazy, isn't it? How does that make sense? That's like dropping Kane now, isn't it? For someone else, that's like looking at Kane and going, "Oh no, we'll take Calvert-Lewin over Kane." It's like doing that, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's crazy, and you know, like Kevin, bless him, Kevin never got any England caps.
No England cap for Kevin. He was capped at every level, bar the senior one, like, you know. Got to a couple of squads, never got in.
Yeah, went to the squads, but never got a cap, bless him. But yeah, no, there's so many like that, though, isn't there? You think about, I mean, Steve Bruce is the one. How the hell did he not get a cap?
Steve Bruce, you know what I mean?
That is unbelievable.
Francis Jeffers has got caps for England.
Yeah, Francis Jeffers and Eddie Nketiah have, and Steve Bruce hasn't.
Yeah, it's, you know what I mean? It's that, you know what I mean? Unbelievable. One of my favourite players, or my dad's favourite player, I'll come back to it. Me, what do you know what?
Who did he play for?
I played for Arsenal, like what? Geordie Armstrong's. Come on.
Oh, George Armstrong. Yeah.
My head went for a second there. Like, I'm getting old. But yeah, Georgie Armstrong, like, my dad's favourite player. He reckons it. Like, if you said to my dad, who's your best and favourite player? Now, you think that was a double-winning year and great teams of the 70s, Liam Brady and John Radford, all that. He always used to say Georgie Armstrong was his favourite and best player. Oh, never got capped by England.
Well, anyone that I speak to in their late 60s, 70s that is a gooner, they'll say they're a proper gooner, get offended when people put Pires in 1 to 11s ahead of George Armstrong. They actually get offended by it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think they say that is like putting Carnu ahead of Thierry Henry in their eyes.
Listen, I can't.
I didn't see him. I can't comment. I didn't see him.
I can't comment on that. Like, I've seen clips of him and all that. Like, but my dad was always saying that that was his favourite. And he was a superb player, like, you know what I mean? And obviously, like, played for Arsenal for a long while. Never got a cap. Never got a cap. John Radford was a double winning striker for Arsenal. Handful of caps, I reckon, if that. Yeah, so it goes on and on. The list goes on and on, like, you know. So I don't think there's a biasness towards Arsenal, just the way it is, I suppose. Like Nugent, yeah, Nugent. I remember that he got a cap, didn't he? What was the Brighton? Not Brighton. Bolton centre forward that managed to get a couple of caps.
Oh, Ricketts.
Yeah.
Michael Ricketts.
Michael Ricketts got caps.
Yeah. Michael Bridges as well.
Michael Bridges,
Yeah, we've had some shockers, haven't we, really? They've got England caps, but yeah, it is mad. But anyway, that took a little bit of a tangent, but that was a nice conversation, that, Lee.
Enjoyed that.
Enjoyed that. Let's bring it back to Arsenal. We are looking at midfielders. Well, I hope we're looking at midfielders. And Onana, Eze, Mikel Merino, all being linked. Now, I'm going to ask you on those names in a little bit. But first of all, we need to work out what's happening with Declan Rice. Now, I don't mean what's happening with Declan Rice in terms of is he staying at Arsenal? Of course he is. But is he a 6 or is he an 8? And I want you to talk to me about this from an Arteta perspective, not from a Lee Judge's perspective. Where do you think Mikel Arteta sees Declan Rice in this starting 11? Does he see him as the 8, where he was so great to watch, I must say? Or is he that destroyer in the 6, where he's that kind of Thomas Partey figure or replacement? That's the first question I've got for you, mate. Like, long term, when everybody is fit, where does Rice play for you?
8. I think that's where he is. I think there's so much more to his game than just being a holding midfielder. I don't mean that disrespectfully to when he was at West Ham or whatever there. I just think that he's got this engine that's just unique, like where he can get box to box, drive from there. I think that the 8 will suit him even more. But I think this is a player that for the next 6-7 years of his career can do the box to box, and then for the last 4 or 5 years of his career go back to when the engine starts to slow down a little bit, like, you know. I haven't seen anybody with an engine and a box to box sort of style quite like it since Steven Gerrard. You know, Steven Gerrard had that when he got forward, and no one really said to Steve, well, apart from when he played for England, oh, you hold and do that role, like, you know. So I feel that with Declan, I just feel that there's so much more to his game than just holding and playing, like, you know. And I think that one of the greatest things for me, and I don't think he does it enough, and, you know, people say about his passing and he nicks the ball. But I love it when he gets the ball and drives past people. He drives past people with so much elegance. And I think that is really where I see him playing long term. The problem that you've got, Dan, is you've got to find that it's all right when Thomas Partey's there because he's quality at doing what he's doing. But you've got to find somebody that's going to be as good as Thomas Partey doing the 6. And that could be the problem, is that there might be someone better that can do the 8, and in the end he has to settle for that. You know, this is a sort of argument, as Terence says there, Patrick Vieira. You know what I mean? I think Patrick was could do it all, and in the end, you know, settled for the holding midfield role, didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? But for his first few years, 5-6 years, he was, you know, a marauder. So he can do it all. That's the thing with Declan Rice, is that he's got the whole package of a midfield player. But for me, I'm gonna say in the 6, but in the 8. But it's getting that one in the 6 to do it, like, you know. And at this moment in time, Dan, I don't know about if what you're in. I haven't really heard any more about Thomas Partey leaving or whatever, and of course they get back on Monday, so hopefully Partey gets a good pre-season and stays, as I think that'll benefit Declan and Arsenal more.
I think Declan Rice can play in both positions. That is not the question, but I want to see him in the 8 because I love him driving forward. I don't think we get that when he's in the 6. I think driving forward, goal scoring, outside the box, linking up with play, being that guy that just drives with the football that no one can get off of him. I think is what we want to be seeing from Declan Rice. And every West Ham fan that I've spoken to has said the same thing. They've said, "Wow, we played him in the 6, but my God, you play him in that 8, he'll be phenomenal for you." So that's my first thing. That then means, however, that we need to go and get that proper number 6. We've still got Partey and Jorginho, and we've still got Rice that can play there. So we need to go and get that number 6. But Lee, I would argue that we need a number 8. And the reason I say that we need a number 8 as well as a 6 is because if Rice does get injured, we are relying on Jorginho, Partey, and who to play in that role. Because Rice gets injured at the moment, we're having to play bloody Vieira there or something like that. And he's not really a number 8, is he? So we need to go and look at that 8. Now, I think that's why we linked, first of all, we'll touch on this player, to Mikel Moreno. I think this Mikel Moreno guy at Spain has shown enough quality in this tournament and certainly in Arteta's eyes at Real Sociedad that he can be the equivalent of a Granit Xhaka, I suppose, that plays in that 8 role. He's £25 million, 6'2", 28 years old, experienced lad. Apparently, there's a lot of qualities about his personality and also about his leadership roles. I think he can come in and be the 8 for Arsenal, and then Arsenal have then got to go and get that number 6 there. So that's what I think probably is looking at the moment most likely. So let's touch on Mikel Moreno. Would you be okay with that signing for 25 million, Lee? I know it's not going to lit up the place and take us to next level, but if Rice is going to be the 8 and Moreno's the backup 8, would that be okay?
Well, yeah, that would be good because then they could share games, and then, as you say, Declan Rice could drop into the 6 and something like that. That's maybe the way that they go down. They go there, but I'm not being, what's the word, snobbish when I say this or whatever. I want a proper midfield player coming in, like top world class, that's going to get us over the line. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if Marino is that one. I don't know if Onana's that one. I don't know who is that one that's going to get us over the line. A 23-year-old Thomas Partey would get us over the line. You know what I mean? So it's got to be of that ilk, I'm afraid. And as you're rightly saying at this moment in time, that we haven't got that, and we haven't got the depth of it either. Because if I know it's an amazing thing, but Declan Rice just keeps going on and on and on. But we say it again. We've got more games coming up next season, and he never gets rested for England. So you're looking at probably for him to say, right, have a couple of weeks off now, Dec, and then you've got to go again and be at the level that he was last season, and maybe even better. It's hard. Then it's very hard. So I feel we've got to really invest in this midfield. This is the key area for me. This is the key area for me. If you said to me that we're going to spend 200 million on midfield players, 2 quality midfield players, you're not going to sign nothing up front, I'd take it. I'll take it, you know what I mean? Because I feel that we've got enough with the wide players and front players. Ideally, we would like it. But for me, I just think this midfield area is so vital to us. And the work rate of Odegaard is unbelievable. The work rate of Declan is unbelievable. But they are going to need a little bit of a break. The end of it, and maybe, we might have got over the line if Thomas Partey had played at 10, 12, 14 games more than what he did. But he didn't, and that is my thing. We've got to find somebody, in my eyes, that's going to come in and be better than Thomas Partey. That's difficult, but one way you can get better than Thomas Partey is being available. So I do think that is a big thing for us. That midfield, I hopefully they are working on things here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people saying that there's a green light for Arsenal to sign Moreno for £25 million. There's a few reports suggesting that Arteta's ready to go in for the Spain star. This is not going to set the world alight, Lee. I can't lie to you, but I don't think this is a guy that's coming in to play every single game for Arsenal. I think he's going to be a squad player. £25 million doesn't get you anything other than a squad player, in my opinion. You're buying a player that's going to go into that 8 role when Rice is not available. And if he sticks with Partey and Jorginho in the 6, I think it's foolish, but it's not bad if they both stay fit the whole season. You know, if we've got a fit Thomas Partey for the whole season, we still have one of the best midfielders in the league. Partey, Rice, and Ødegaard is a brilliant trio, right? What we've all been looking forward to see, but haven't been able to see it as much as we liked because Partey's not been fit. If Partey stays fit, I think we've got a brilliant chance of doing very well this season. But we know he's not going to. Jorginho, we know we can't rely on him for 30 games a season. So we've got 2 players in the 6 there when Rice is playing in the 8 that we can't rely on for more than 10, 15, maybe 20 top games this season. So you wrap them 2 up in cotton wool. You've got Declan Rice and no one else. Ødegaard, Smith-Rowe, Vieira, they all play 2 attack-minded. Havertz, they all play 2. They can't play in the 8. None of them. So we have to look at that, in my opinion, as a key position. But we definitely need 2 midfielders coming in. And I think that's why we're getting Moreno for 25. And then we're going to spend a lot on what I think will be the midfielder that everyone will be shocked by. I don't know who it is. I don't know. You know, I don't want it to be Onana, if I'm honest. I think Onana's a good player, but he's not a wow player. I'm hoping it could be somebody like a Frankie de Jong or a Bruno Guimaraes or someone like that we go, cool, I didn't see that one coming. That's what I'm hoping it's going to be. I don't know if it is going to be that, Lee.
Well, that's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we need.
You know, even Joshua Kimmich, that would get me excited, you know, because people will say he's 29 years old and Moreno's 28. Yeah, but you don't always have to be buying 21-year-olds and 23-year-olds. You've got to get players in there that have done it, take you to that next level. Because we were told by Edu and Arteta, once we get these foundations set, all we will do is sprinkle it with gold dust and sprinkle it with world-class signings. And other than Rice, I ain't seen that really happening yet. You know, we ain't got a world-class striker. They're still lacking. We ain't got a world-class left 8. We ain't got a world-class goalkeeper. And we haven't got a world-class left back unless you believe Timber and Calafiori could come in and be that. So there's 3 positions there that we need to go and get world-class players. Like De Jong, for me, would be a really good signing and one that would lift everyone. Yeah, that would be like, whoa, that's phenomenal. I don't think it's going to happen, by the way, but that's the sort of signing that would make you go, wow. You know, so that's what you could do. Some people have suggested that you go all out for somebody like Musiala. I don't think he's going to be available from Bayern Munich. And then you play Ødegaard a bit deeper in the 8 and have Musiala as your 10. I don't really want to go down that road because I don't feel like that's realistic, if I'm honest. For me, I want to be looking at the players we're actually linked with. Mikel Moreno will come in, I think, and be a competition. And then you've got Onana and Eze that are being linked. Now, Eze could be an interesting one because that could be one of the more exciting links, I think, Lee, Eze. We've mentioned him before, and I think that he could play in that left 8. But what do you make of Onana and Eze coming in at Arsenal? Is that going to take...
I don't know if that'll take us to the next level. It'll improve us. But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like... we'll have to wait and see, but that would be sort of the way I think we might have to go. I don't know, you know what I mean? I want to be excited. Do you know when Declan Rice come here? You know what I mean? Not being greedy and all that. I was excited. I want to be excited again in this transfer window. At the moment, nothing's exciting me. So, you know, Edu, pull your finger out and get me excited, please. With a few signings that are going to make us think that we're going to win the title. At the moment, I look at it and think we've got a chance of winning the title, but so have other teams. I don't think we've done enough to say, yeah, we're going to be winning this title, and that is down to this transfer window. This is the massive transfer window for me, and nothing's happened at me. But that's the way it is at the moment. I'm not going to lose patience with everything at the moment, but I do expect some big guns coming through in the next couple of weeks. I really, really do.
I hope so, mate. I'm in a position myself where I'm not going to lose my head because I've just been speaking on Saeed's channel about it. Oh, what's happening with Arsenal? I thought they'd be going for it, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, no one else is going for it yet. You know, we've got to wait for this window to shut and then assess it and then look at it. And there's still loads and loads of time. Players aren't even back yet from the Euros and the Copa America. So we need to be realistic about it. We're looking at a couple of other positions first, which I think is a little bit strange, but maybe they just want to get them covered and then concentrate on the big ones. Obviously, goalkeeper, I don't know if you saw yesterday, Lee, but this Dan Bentley thing's has probably gone away now. I think we've insulted Wolves. So we're now moved on to the 18-year-old Ajax goalkeeper, Tom Setford, who's the England under-20s goalkeeper. So I think we want like a homegrown goalkeeper that's going to be third choice, that's going to be able to be ticked on the homegrown quota in the Champions League, and he can sit and grow with the team. I'm cool with that. I think there's links with Garcia as well for Arsenal from Espanyol, who can come in as our backup goalkeeper. So it looks like Ramsdale is potentially going to go. Garcia from Espanyol will be number 2, and this Setford guy will be number 3. And there's our 3 goalkeepers. We get Calafiori in, who's stalled at the moment over a few £1 million. That will get done, I believe, at some stage. Yeah. And then you've got your 3 goalkeepers, you've got your defender, and then you go in forward to your wide player, your midfielders. I think that's the way Arsenal were looking at their window, Lee, don't you?
Yeah, I think it will be. And it's not like because it's not a priority, when they go, all right, we're signing a defender. It's not that it's a priority. It's just that's probably the easier one to do at this moment in time. So, I don't look at it and go, all right, that's the one we're going to go for. That's priority. Listen, even when there's been no Euros, sort of transfers, you look at some of the transfers now, they're sort of happening in and around this time now. So I do expect, a little bit of a business done in the next couple of weeks, and then we go for the one that we want, and hopefully it's the one that will excite us and be the one that gets us all excited about what's coming in a few weeks' time, the Premier League.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, Gunner Blog just quickly on Twitter is suggesting that Arsenal in the midst of a dramatic overhaul of their goalkeeping department, with David Raya as number 1, Juan Garcia targeted as number 2, Dan Bentley and Tom Setford suggested to be wanted as number 3. So I think that's what we're looking at is Ramsdale's going to go. We're going to get Garcia as number 2 and probably Setford as number 3. Calafiori's going to come in at defence. Midfield looking with Mikel Moreno, and then probably one more, and then I reckon a wide player. And I think that might be it, Lee. I'm with you. I don't know that we're going to get this striker across the line this summer. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to wait for Alexander Isak the following year, which I'd be fine with if that was the case. But what I don't want to do is not have a striker and then not go for Isak either and just keep Havertz, because we know. I had Curtis on my show yesterday, and he said it spot on. We keep Havertz and Jesus. That is not enough to get across the line when you need those clutch moments. And I think that would be a mistake, personally. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see, we will see.
Listen, that has gone very quick. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to all of you. Make sure you hit the like button. There's nowhere near enough likes at the moment. We've not even hit 100. So please make sure that you click like and subscribe. They're 2 things you can do absolutely free right now. So please make sure that you do it, guys. If you want to come join me at 7 p.m. tonight, I've got a transfer news show with an elite panel. Please make sure you come over and say hi at 7 p.m. tonight at Football's 12th Man. So I will see you then. And Lee, I'll let you see us out, mate.
Yeah, enjoy the tennis. Cricket's on today. Don't forget Yorkshire versus Lancashire in the 2020 Blast. If anybody's interested in that, I'll certainly be watching that. But otherwise, have a very, very enjoyable weekend. I'm off to Liverpool tomorrow, up there to see the billboard at Goodison of Kevin and have a few photos there. And then I'll be back for the final on Sunday. Listen, enjoy it, get drunk, but imagine it now. Unfortunately, boys and girls, you've got to get off the Spanish drinks and you've got to go on to the hells, because that's English.